Hi, everybody. I'm really glad you're here. I want you to come with me to New York City. It's the week before Christmas, and we're at Rockefeller Center. And my son, who lives down there, and my husband and I are waiting in line to go ice skating. The music is playing. There's very festive feeling. Everything is exciting, so much fun. And I have my skates in my backpack and my wallet, and we're just waiting in line. And the tree is there. It's beautiful. And we decide that there's an awful lot going on in New York, and that maybe spending the whole day in line is not really what we want to do. So we take our selfie, and we get up on the very busy street. The wind is blowing. People have pink cheeks, the music, and I'm really just in the moment. And when we get down to the corner, there's a food truck there. And on the edge of the food truck is this aluminum pan filled with roasted chestnuts. And I'm like, oh, I gotta get myself some of those chestnuts. And before I can make the transaction with the guy, my son appears at my side and says, Mom, what are you doing? I said, well, I got to get some chestnuts. And he says, well, you don't buy them from this guy. You got to get them from the nut guy across the street. Well, does he have chestnuts? And I don't know, so let's go check it out. Okay, so we go across the street, and I talk to the nut guy, and he does not have any chestnuts. Now, he's got this cart filled with 3 other kinds of candied nuts. And I select what I want, and I said, how much? And he said, they are 1 for 3 or 2 for 5. Well, I got to get the deal, right? So I said, I'll take 2 for 5. And usually when I visit a big city, I have a little cash in my pocket for just such occasions. And so I hand over my money, and he gives me these 2 beautiful little bags with warm nuts in them, and they feel so good on my cold fingers. So I walk down the street, and my husband and son are ahead of me. But before I catch up with them, there is a homeless lady standing there with her cart full of her belongings. And there are 2 things that I know about homeless people. In December, they are cold and hungry. So she's wearing this puffer coat that goes down to her calf, and the hood's up, and her face is peeking out. And she's got a scarf on. I'm like, okay, she's warm. So I walk up to her with the nuts. Would you like some nuts? And she says, no. And I made a face, apparently. And she explained that she can't eat them because she doesn't have any teeth. And I thought, oh, well, that's very logical. Okay. Well, and now this is this awkward moment. And I've presented myself to her as someone who is willing to feed her. And she asks me point blank, would you buy me a hot dog? And now I'm in a situation that is totally unexpected, and I have a split second to decide what to do. My husband and son are waiting. This is the 3rd time I've stopped, and they're waiting for me. But they're waiting. And down there, in the melee and all the hubbub, down there, somewhere is a hot dog guy. And if I go down there, I have to take my backpack off and take out my wallet, and I might get ripped off. All the money I had, if I didn't buy 2, I could have purchased, a hot dog, and And this is what I said to her. It's the nuts or nothing. Yes, I am here in the future also. And she is not laughing. She replies with a shrug, and I am so embarrassed. And I reply with a shrug, and I turn away from her because I am so, the close encounter is over. And I walk away incredibly disappointed in myself for two reasons. One is that I can't believe I said that to her. Because essentially what I said to her is, I am happy to help you on my terms and from my wealth. And the second thing I'm disappointed about is down there, the what if. I let fear win over charity. Now the impact of a close encounter with someone, that it's a measure of how it affects you. And that experience was 8 to 10 seconds. It was such a brief experience with this lady, but it had a very profound effect on me. And now, just 4 years later, I can tell you that I am not 100% charitable every time, but I'm much better than I was. And listeners, I have 3 conclusions for you. 1, don't ever, ever buy twice as much of something that you do not want. That is not a deal. The second thing is when you encounter someone, even if it looks like it's going to be a disaster, have the encounter anyway. And third, don't let fear win. Thank you.